The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent, including Olas Media.
Olas Media.
I am your host, Mr. Wowzer. We are the Dodi Connection. Today, we are going to be talking about some very, very deep topics that I feel is going to touch your soul, as well as recommend you to some great products from Cold Fire Extracts and True Classics, True OG. Trust me, it's going to hit you hard.
Wow.
Anya den Wagwan, Monsieur Panya Ras Class. I am your host, Mr. Wowzer. We're back with another special episode of TDOC. I have a very special guest, but first, huge shout out to my sponsors, Cold Fire Extracts. What up, Dodi, Olas, and IVC Media. I am going to take it to one of my songs from a new project, Ballads of Mr. Wowzer. It's called My Mind and I Mix. It's a celebration song. I think you understand what I'm talking about. We'll be right back after this.
Showing you off when we wine and dine. No matter the cause, I'm a bye. Ain't hard to tell that she
Look at that girl right there, body language on her same claim me. Every day you trap. I can see you never lazy. Your body, your hips, your face, your lips, you can see why I go crazy. I be cheering her, I'm saying, go girl, go, cause that's my baby.
And don't even look away, cause I'm trying to tell you, dog, yeah, that's my baby. Her fashion be super slayed all the time, no catch, you do that on the day. Oh, God. When we together, we waste no time. Showing you off when we wine and dine. No matter the cause, I'm a bye. Ain't hard to tell that she mine, huh?
Baby girl, you know the deal. You know I feel some way. I know it, I know that you're my babe. You're mine. Hey, my baby.
Yep, that's her. Bag in her pockets and a bag in her purse.
Water on me so my dick always around to quench your thirst.
And I'm fresh as fuck, I stepped out of house.
My lap is your throne and also your bone.
You're the lucky one, queen, come take this home.
I will always be your king, that's on my soul.
And I don't ever cap on that.
Look at that girl right there, body language on her same claim me. Every day you trap. I can see you never lazy. Your body, your hips, your face, your lips, you can see why I go crazy. I be cheering her, I'm saying, go girl, go, cause that's my baby.
It's time to switch it up.
Look at that boy right there, body language on him so crazy.
Trap.
I can see you never lazy.
Now bring it back in, fellas.
Your body, your hips, your face, your lips, you can see why I go crazy. I be cheering her, I'm saying, go girl, go, cause that's my baby. Baby girl, you know the deal. You know I feel some way. I know it, I know that you're my baby. You're mine. You're mine. Hey. You're mine. You're mine. You're mine.
Together, we waste no time. Showing you off when we wine and dine. No matter the cause, I'm a bye.
You're mine.
She mine.
Cough drops.
Hello, yes, Lord. You know what it's time for? It is time for cough drops. I'm going to give you the best recreational and medicinal cannabis on the market that I personally use. The first one that I'm going to talk about from Flower Co. is Atomic Cherry, with an explosive rush of energy that hits like an atomic bomb with the cherry bomb on top. The invigorating uplift from this hybrid is a fantastic way to get your day going. Notes of earthy fruit with sweet and sour citrus to fill your senses with anticipation. Before a happy euphoria fills you with delight. Energizing and inspiring, Atomic Cherry will send your spirit to the sky like you're floating on a giant mushroom cloud. The THC percentage is 26%. The CBD percentage is 1%. The reported effects is uplifting, energizing, and talkative. The top reported conditions ease is depression, chronic pain, muscle spasms, nausea, and appetite loss. Top reported strain flavors is citrus, earth, fruit, and sweet. It is a really, really, really good hybrid. I love something that keeps me like right in the middle where I'm not sleepy or too energized. I'm just ready to do whatever, and whatever I want it to be is wherever I want it to be. This is one of those. I'm going to take it to a Wowzer word from our sponsor, and we'll be back with our guests right after this.
Cold fire extracts.
It's amazing.
The taste is great, clean and pure. It's loud like flowers, super tasty.
It has great effects and a long-lasting buzz.
This is why Cold Fire is the #1 go-to vape in the cannabis space.
Cold Fire Extract scored a high 95 from the highestcritic.com.
Because of its standard of greatness in every category. Even compared to solventless,
This is almost equalish, but it is definitely better than solventless. Go ahead and light up that Cold Fire Extracts.
I'm smoking it right now.
Why? Queen Mary's Boost Elixir. Elixir for a vixen, the thing for a king. Boost Elixir is a coffee tincture with added vitamin D infused with THCV that brings you an energizing euphoria that keeps you alert, motivated, and ready to take on the world. This espresso infused elixir serves as a coffee enhancer, providing enhanced focus. It also boosts your metabolism. Top reported effects are alertness, motivation, energy, and enhanced focus.
Queen Mary's products can be used in a supplement regimen.
So how you would use it is Queen Mary's Boost Elixir in the morning, enchanted gummies throughout the day, and at nighttime moose drug gummies to have a nice and refreshed sleep.
For more information about Queen Mary and their products,
Go to their website, queenmarybrand.com. Hello. Wow, you know it's that time.
It's time for our special guest.
Yes, Lord, and we are back. I'm here to introduce my special guest. We met at and was around each other at the puff party, right?
Yeah.
Lake Elsinore. It was a fun time. Got super zooted. I had friends there that ain't never got that high in their life before. Some was really like, bro, I'm so high. Oh my God. I'm like, relax, bro. That's how it's supposed to be.
That
right?
is so funny because I feel like with me and my friends too, they think that they smoke and that they're in with it. But once I start bringing them to events with me, man, like I remember one of the events earlier this year, one of my friends like literally fell.
Are you serious?
Because he was just so stoned. I was like, yeah, dude, like, even if you don't smoke, like, you're around it, you're going to hotbox and stuff.
Oh, my God.
It
He
was
just
the
passed
funniest
out.
thing. Yeah, like, paramedics were there.
Oh,
had to pick him up
God.
and everything, but,
Wow.
Yep.
I'm sorry for laughing, family. You're a warrior, but I think it's in good spirits of the cannabis. My bad. I'm glad you're okay. But the puff party was cool. We ended up talking after that and hearing her story and hearing her expertise in brand recognition and ambassading and sales. I felt it was very important for her to highlight and spotlight those things and how important they are to the industry. So without further ado, my special guest, Nash Mendoza. How you doing today, y'all?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you
doing
for having
good.
me on here.
You're very welcome. Now let's go ahead and get to the meat of the story. Okay. How was life for you growing up in Rialto, California?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that it was easy, but you know, like I feel like every other kid probably kind of goes through a little rough patch in their life, and that was for me in Rialto. Like all through high school, like middle school, high school, I was always bullied. I was kind of always like on my own trying to figure out like what's going on. So I got into a little bit of trouble, but you know, we're still here.
Now, Rialto is the Inland Empire.
Inland Empire, yeah.
Area, right. So
nobody ever knows where that's at.
I know, right? You got to be hip to California to know what the IE is, for sure.
I mean, even if you're from like Cali, like a lot of people don't know where it's at. Unless
Girl,
like
look.
you're from like the actual IE.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I found out like I found out what that is like 5 years ago. I think 5 or 6 years ago. I just found out what that was recently. Yeah.
Where Rialto was?
No, where IE is.
Oh, where the IE? Yeah.
I'm like, well, I've been going to Temecula and Marietta, but I didn't know it was called the IE. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, whoa, okay. So it's, and they go hard about that shit out there in Vista. I'm from the IE, fool. Okay. Hey, make your little name. I'm fucking with it. Yeah. I'm fucking with it. So was there something, or was there a specific moment that you remember that brought you to cannabis? Or to even smoking it? Yes, you can say the age. We don't, no. But it's okay.
Oh, I mean, in junior high, I was probably like 12 or 13. My friends were like all smoking weed. It was like the thing to do, you know? So they were like, here, try it. And me at that age, I was like, what do I do with it? So then one of my friends she said, you can just put it in your mouth and suck it, and then it's going to get you high. So here I am at like 12, 13 years old, just like freaking walking around with weed in my mouth in class.
Teachers are like, that's okay.
I'm like, this is not working.
It's not working. When did you notice it was working?
Until I actually started smoking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a different story. It's a different story than that. Everybody, you know, I think this is off record, okay? We all talk about like the first time we smoked, but we don't talk about what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all went through a bad whoopty when we first smoked weed. You know what I mean?
We were trying to figure it out.
Figure it out. You're in your head. You're like, oh my God, am I going to die? What is this? Like, yeah, how was that experience for you? Mine's was bad, okay? I ended up
what
in the
was
hospital.
Yours?
Mine's was laced. And so I ended up in the hospital. Heart stopped. 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was definitely a life-changing moment for me. I mean, I still smoke, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
glad
understood
you're
that
still
it was
here.
laced. Yeah, it was dust in there. So
That's crazy.
that's San Diego for you Southeast, especially San Diego. Got to be careful what you guys smoking for somebody.
Yeah.
But how was your experience?
So like the first time that I actually smoked, I think I was like, honestly, it was such a long time ago, and I know that everybody always remembers like their experience and stuff. Like I remember smoking out of apples and like water bottles and
Damn,
pen caps and all
throwback.
that stuff. But like I remember being high, but I can't remember like if it made me paranoid. I think usually it would like make me laugh, so I would just like sit there and just like crack up. Oh yeah, good times.
That is funny though. She's not lying about that. I love a good goofy attack off weed. Like
Yeah.
the first time I smoked weed, Get Rich or Die Trying was out. I think I was 15.
Oh wow.
And so I don't like Doritos, okay? I don't like corn tortilla at all or anything that's corn. But I was so high, I ate a whole bag of that shit laughing at that movie. I don't know why I thought that movie was funny, man. We're watching Get Rich or Die Trying, watching this shit, laughing our ass off when he got shot, everything. But I was just that,
funny.
yeah. To this day, when I get zooted, I start getting goofy. So what introduced you to the industry of cannabis? And legal or illegal, it doesn't matter.
So I got introduced back in 2016. Me and like the person that I was dating at the time, he had wanted to open a dispensary, so we kind of like went in and did that Prop 215 thing. So we did that, but it kind of like fell off. Like we fell off of each other. It was kind of like we went like halfway in financially, but I was never like truly allowed to go around the dispensary. I feel like all my life I've been struggling with that. Like I still get limited to what I can do, and I'm trying to like break all those.
So for my listeners, to get this clear, so you guys went half on financing the business.
Yeah.
But you couldn't be involved in the business.
Pretty much.
Couldn't even go up to the spot.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
Controlling much? It's giving controlling.
Yeah.
It's giving, but
anytime that he needed like help with the books or anything like that, I have a certificate in like accounting and all that, so I would do his books. But it was always like, here, like I'm gonna bring it home and then you do it there. And it's like, oh, I hate
wow.
this. Like,
I'm
I
sorry
wanna go
about
in
that.
there.
Yeah.
But my uncle was a grower as well. He was like super into it. I kind of like would tell him too that I wanted to be involved with it, and he always like held me back from it, saying that it wasn't like safe. The people that he was dealing with wasn't like for me, so he like kept me away from it. He did end up losing his life for it, and then after that I kind of made it a point, like, you know what, like, it's legal now, there's dispensaries popping up everywhere, like, I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna make a name for myself, like, for him. Like, I want to make him proud in that sense. Like, he was like a father figure to me, you know?
Yeah. I understand, man. I understand. Shout out to the uncles that do that shit, man. R.I.P. to Uncle Kenny, man. Yeah. So after you got introduced, you got your foot in, you started with your own business, and then you start working around to from seed to sale, or did you just want to gain experience and start reading then? Like, how did you get the all insight from stepping in for your first time?
So the way that I went into like the legal way back in 2020, so like 3 years ago, there was a shop opening up in the town where I lived, and I saw that they had the banner where it said dispensary and grow. So I Googled the name right away. I was like, what is this? So I saw their plans. I saw how they were going to have grow rooms. There was a C12 license. They have like everything, manufacturing, distribution, cultivation, retail, like all in one site. And me just being the person that I am, like in my head, I was like, it's a brand new business. Like, they're going to need people to do their payroll. They're going to need people to do their books, like stuff like that. Right. So I left my car sales job to do that. And I got hired as a bud tender. So I started all the way from the bottom with them. But I was able to go and like prove myself and like tell them. I did kind of like tell the manager, like, hey, I know how to do this. If you ever need help with payroll or something, like, let me know. And he did. Yeah, nice. So he kind of leaned on me, and I did that. And one day I kind of like walked in, and they're like, hey, so-and-so's not here anymore. You're the new office manager. So I was like, all right, cool. And then from there, they brought in a buyer, retail manager. Nice. He didn't end up working out, so they let him go, and then I got the call saying like, hey, the position's being offered to you. Nice. So I did think about it for a bit, and then I like came in over the weekend, or like after the weekend. I was like, you know what, like, I think I'm ready for this, like, I want to do it. So I was able to like dabble into a little bit of everything, like metric, with like cultivation and the retail side, all the inventory side of it. It's such a headache.
You did literally everything from seed to
sale. But it was fun. Like, I thank them so much. I just recently left that spot in like mid-September, and like I was there from day one since they first opened. So I did have like a heart-to-heart with the owners and like thank them. They thanked me too for like being able to help them be where they're at today. And me, I thank them too for them giving me the opportunity to like be in pretty much like a little bit of everything through there, you know, like it's all there, so why not?
right. And there's not a lot of people in this industry that'll do that sometimes. So when you do find those people that care and give you their resources and stuff like that, IPs, it's really grateful in this industry.
Yeah.
It's really grateful. So that's amazing. It's dope that you really got to see all sides and see how important it is. So where did the moment arise for you when you decided to become more involved in the community while being involved in the industry of cannabis?
So while when I first took on the management role there, I've always been kind of like community based. Like, I've always done like charity events, anything that I can do to give back. And I've seen how like the pushback that we get in the cannabis industry, which really like bums me out, because I used to see so many medicinal patients, and it truly does help them like with anything that they're going through. And some of the patients that were coming in, like, they had their own businesses, they had like their own thing going for them. Like, one of my friends that I met there, like, she literally just went pro MMA like a couple months ago. So that was freaking awesome. So they're all doing big things, and I've always would tell them like, hey, like, I'm gonna throw a 420 event, or I'm gonna do like a 710 event. The way that I used to do my events, I would have my cannabis vendors, when they would come in and post up, we had a really big parking lot, so and it was good weather all the time, so that was great. So we were able to like post up outside, but I would invite my local vendors too that I've met through the shop. And I would try to have like a cannabis vendor, a local vendor, a cannabis vendor, a local vendor, like right next to each other. That way it's not dividing the cannabis in the community, you know. So like we're all intermingled with each other. We were all truly there because we were in love with like the weed, you know, and like what it does to us and like the benefits that it gives us. Yeah.
No, that's actually dope. I don't really hear about that. And putting local and you know, industry cannabis vendors together, I know that worked out well. And especially because you can make buddies off of that and put them on the local ones.
Yeah.
So, and plus it's brand recognition, which is very important in the industry.
Yeah.
Understanding the brand and getting it to where it could be a Supreme or a Louis Vuitton or a Gucci. You know what I mean? Everybody in the cannabis industry wants that.
Yeah.
I think Nipsey got that for sure. There's a few. Nipsey got Marathon OG. You already know it sells.
Yeah.
It's a staple name. So all you got to say is Marathon.
And that's it.
And it goes to the whole catalog. Weed, you know what I mean? Clothes. Like, so how important is brand recognition, and how important did you emphasize that to the local vendors? Because some local vendors are just going to stay in their bubble where they make the money. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I would always tell them like, hey, I'm going to throw an event like this. It gives you a chance to attract a different audience that you won't normally attract on your own platform, you know? So, like, if you're coming out here with me, like, I have all these other vendors that are going to be there. Like, everybody's going to be taking pictures. Everybody's going to be taking videos. Like, they're going to see your tent or, like, your banner or something, and they're going to remember you off of, like, whatever you had on your display. So I would try to just like get everybody out of their bubble and try to make them like all mesh with each other so they're comfortable with each other. And like eventually, like, some of them did make friends. Like, I can talk to some of my vendor friends on the cannabis side, and I'll tell them like, oh, my friend that does this, and they'll remember like, oh yeah, she was at one of your events with this, like. So it works. It really does.
Yeah, it works. And there's a lot more of that needs to be happening in the cannabis industry.
Yeah.
In California, I mean, especially in SoCal. So how important is community to you?
Super important. I feel like without the community, we wouldn't be where we're at, or like we wouldn't be able to do anything. Like, essentially the community, like wherever we're doing business, that little town or that city, that's supposed to be the community that we're supposed to reach out to, you know. They're gonna be the ones that are gonna be like coming in, telling their relatives about it, telling their family or like their friends about it. I used to get a lot of people that would come in during the holidays, and they would bring like their one of them one time brought their grandkids. She was like, they're coming from Arizona, but I wanted you to meet them. So it wasn't necessarily like I was able to establish like really great relationships with everybody, like the community, on both like the local community and the cannabis community. So it was always really heartwarming when somebody would be like, I want you to meet my mom, I brought her in. You know, and then I can talk to them and I can show them what we were doing, and it would open up their mind to the possibilities and like the great benefits of what we could do for them, aside from them just thinking that we're getting high and not doing anything. Yeah.
You're showing them medicinal value.
Yeah.
And I think that is the most beautiful thing about being involved in the community and what you're doing with vendors and stuff like that, because it's kind of like a full circle thing, right?
Yeah.
The war on drugs affected disproportionate communities. Now we're coming back, rectifying those harms and trying to rebuild the community with what was the war on it. You know what I mean? It's a dope fight. You know what I mean? And it's a dope, I guess it gives, I wouldn't say the hippie movement. I just want to say the 60s when everybody was smoking and doing psychedelics and shit. It's like a time like that right now. You get what I'm saying? It's a hub where these smokeouts are little local meet outs where everybody, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really, it's centralized into something. So I think it's dope. It's kind of like sticking your finger up to the man and saying, man, fuck you. You know what I mean? Fuck you. All this war on drug shit. Now we're going to link up. We're going to smoke on your parking lot. And we're going to show how great this stuff is.
Yeah.
My mom is a military super government whoopty. I'm bringing this up to say she's doing a CBD trial. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
So now when we talk, it's different. And I'm super shocked because I never thought that I would talk about my career with her now.
That's awesome.
Right? Talk about the unity in that.
Yeah.
Man.
My mom was super against it too. And she has a lot of like, she's a little bit older, so she has like trouble sleeping. Sometimes she has like arthritis or anything like that. So I started bringing edibles to her, like CBD rich edibles.
Nice.
And at first she would just like talk shit to me and like, what the fuck are you doing with all this in my house? Like, and eventually it like turned to like, now I can come home and give her a bag and I'll tell her, Mom, don't eat the whole thing. And she'll be like, why? Like just popping them. Like, girl.
Why?
But it's awesome. Like, I love it. Like, from seeing where she went, like super against it, like telling me that, what am I doing here? Like, I'm just gonna, like, like my family has a little bit of a history with that, and it hasn't turned so well. So she's always like thought of like something super bad from it. And even though it's legal, like she's still like, I mean, here and there, she'll still tell me, like, aren't you embarrassed of that? Like, no, this is my passion. Like, this is what I want to be doing.
Right. You act like it's about to just fall on his face right now. Look at the alcohol prohibition. It went through hell before it became what it is today.
Yeah.
It went through hell. So, I mean, shit, we're a baby industry. We're going to go through it too.
Yeah.
But you see who is grabbing. And we're seeing it amongst our closest people that would never touch it.
Yeah. So
wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. The Dodi Connection. Hello, easy. But what's next for Nash Mendoza?
So right now I just got hired with a brand, so I'm still doing BA stuff. But I did let them know that I'm still trying to do events. So like essentially like my overall goal in this industry is be able to find a farm that will let me pheno hunt with them. So I can cultivate and grow my own strains myself and make a brand. Like, I've had so many friends that have been really like lucky to go into meetings or like interviews with other brands, and at the end of it they come out and they say like, hey, I went in as like for an interview for this, but they turned around and they offered me my own brand. And it's always beautiful, it's always amazing, like hell yeah, like if that's what you want, like go for it. But it's always like white labeling, and I don't want a white label. I want to, like, I'm so in love with this. And just like from being at the C12 where I was at and being able to see the little babies grow like every single day up until like they're harvested and like out in packaging and everything. But like when they're in the rooms like thriving and stuff, like, oh my God, that's my favorite. So like that's my goal. That's what I want to do. I want to find a farm that will let me work with them. Like around what I do now, so eventually I can have my own strains and brands out there too.
Right. It'd be very strong as a woman too. A lot more women-owned brands is coming out, and a lot more minorities are being owners in the cannabis space. It's starting to change. It's starting to be a shift.
Yeah.
It's starting to be a shift. So I think that'll be a good foot forward.
That's a life goal. So
hello.
We're rooting for it and we're working hard for it every day.
Well, what would be the name of your brand?
I don't even know.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
girl, start thinking about that.
I know. I know. Like,
if
I don't
you
have
stay
a name
ready
for it yet. And that's so funny because I always get so many friends that come and tell me too, like, hey, you know how to like run this, or you know how to do this, like why don't you just start your own brand? But it's like, it's the whole process. Like I want like the sweat, tears, the hard work, the happy days, the bad days. I want all that experience like under me before I can be like, well, I'm gonna just start a brand and I'm gonna buy weed from so and so, you know. But
right.
Yeah, I need a name.
Yes, you do. Go ahead and have it ready so you ain't gotta get ready. One of your friends might pop up and be like, hey, look, one of the homies is ready to give a brand out. You ready? You got your brand ready? Exactly.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's not what I want to do. Like I've had like one of the managers recently said that he wanted to give out a brand to like a couple different people, and it's like, no, like I don't want to do it under your weed. Like I want to do
I get
like,
what you're saying.
I want to grow
do
my
it under
own.
you.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
Right. You're the sole.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Easy killer. I like that. There's ways to do it though. I wish you the best on that journey.
You.
If you need some farms, holla at the boy. Hello. We're going to take it to our topics and solutions segment. I thank you again for answering those questions. You're going to join me on that, of course.
Okay.
We'll be right back after this.
It's cool time. Tavares Jordan.
So look, Nash, this topic I brought up a few times, okay? And I'm making it a priority to talk about fake cannabis, okay? Synthetic cannabinoids, okay? It's dangerous. It's messed up. Spice, K2, all that stuff. So we're going to talk about that. Let's dive in. There's nothing nice or dreamy about synthetic weed sold under names such as AK-47, K2, Spice, Scooby Snacks, Mr. Nice Guy, 24K Dream. Sometimes packaged as e-juice for vaping or as edibles. Most synthetic cannabinoids are sold as dry plant material sprayed with acetone, embalming fluid, or other solvents laced with lab-made psychoactive substances. It's not just a U.S. problem. It's became an international problem with data that lists at least 320 different synthetic cannabinoids sold on the illegal market as of February 2022. How do you feel about that? Especially with your passion of, growing and seeing agriculture with the cannabis and watching the process.
That's like with some of the vape companies that do stuff like that, I feel like they're just trying to push a product out. And they're not truly they don't truly care of what their consumers are smoking. So then that leads to bad experiences.
All around.
Yeah. And it kind of gives us all a bad name.
Yeah,
Stop doing it.
It does. When I was on the other side of the tracks, our shops sold hemp nugs sprayed with THCO. And a lot of times you look at the trichomes on it, it's mildew. It's not even trichomes. So all of us for years were smoking janky weed. I'm talking about that worked on that side of the tracks. Everybody that was a customer, we would see 2,500 customers a day.
Oh, wow. That's
every single day, 7 days a week. So imagine what that did to the community. And not only that, it would have them hooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was a hard drug. So you would act weird if you didn't have it.
Yeah.
You would act, it was crazy.
Yeah. And that's like, I feel like that's where we get our bad rep too, as like the cannabis community. Like that's where weed gets a bad rep, with everything that's being like laced into what we're smoking, because of like how they're acting or how it makes them react, or like when they're off of it or something like that, or like just any diseases or infections that they can get in their body as well.
Exactly.
This is why it's like known to be something like bad. But they're not truly smoking like the real stuff, like the stuff that's actually gonna give them benefits and like treat them well and like take care of them and take care of their body too.
Right.
But yeah, that's where I feel that's all coming from.
And listeners, this is a big point because there is false leaders that's out here talking about the legal cannabis market. It's saying that the legal weed is weird. They feel weird smoking it. I don't know what's wrong. I need to go to Jamaica. I'm Jamaican. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I don't like when false leaders that got power and a voice, you know what I mean? And all these followers under them trying to lead them to somewhere else because of how they feel. Maybe it doesn't work for you and maybe you need a different way to deliver it to you. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't need to smoke. Maybe you need to eat an edible. Maybe you need to take a tincture. But don't say that legal weed that gets tested in the lab is weird and that you think they're putting stuff in there when there's stuff on the market, over 320 different synthetic cannabinoids sold on the illegal market. Oh, my God. Yeah. So, my bad for my passion, y'all. So, look, here's the solutions, right? Make sure you're getting safe and tested cannabis products. We agree with that from a legal retailer, right? Of course, it's been a problem with children eating edibles and grabbing snacks, and been horrible the experiences that they've been having because they think it's candy. So the second solution is if your child sees you with candy or snacks, double check the packaging. Make sure that they don't be around it. And Thirdly, do not support the gray market of the cannabis industry. How do you feel about those solutions?
I love all those. I think that with the last one, I'm not going to fully agree with you with the do not support the gray market.
What's your reason?
Because some of the top brands that are out there right now come from like the black market, and they're doing great things. Like, man, there are so many. Like, pretty much everybody, like some of the farmers that I know, literally started growing in their garage or like in their backyard, and now they have like their brands out there.
It's legal now, though, right? And that's the difference.
So that's dope. But they were all selling in the black market. It just kind of has to. I mean, I would say to stay away from like some of the stuff out there because you don't truly know what's in there. you just gotta kind of like know your source and be able to like build with them and like make sure that you know where they're growing, what they're putting in their when they're cultivating anything, you know.
Let me throw this wrench your way, this monkey wrench. You do understand that the gray market crushes the legal industry, right?
Yeah.
It stops it from being descheduled. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It stops it from propelling. So I understand what you're saying. You're saying, and for my listeners, so you guys don't get confused, what she's saying is because there were brands that were in the black market and turned legal, that's why, you know what I mean? What was her reason? But they're legal now. So how can this brand thrive when there's somebody else that could take what they do, take their packaging? It's not even their official packaging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could buy it from the smoke shop, put some nug in there, seal it,
And
say this is
stuff
Runts.
Like that, yeah.
Say this is all the homies do it.
Yeah.
But you don't know what that is in the bag. You know what I mean?
True.
I'm allergic to mold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm allergic to mold. So the fact that I even consumed that shit, I remember, I'm going to save that story for another
yeah,
day.
That would be crazy, like smoking it.
See what I'm saying? I smoked it for 2 years before I came. When I came here is when I learned real weed, the loudest weed.
Yeah.
What?
I remember talking to a vendor. I used to be a buyer. So I was like talking to a vendor and I was like looking at what they brought. And then I like messaged her and I sent her a picture of it. I said, hey, there's mold on here. She was like, well, I didn't grow it. I just sell it. Like,
love. She's like, oh, she's messy. No, she's not. She's not. She likes to know what she's smoking on. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm the same way. If I see a little bit of that, I'm going to toss it in a black schmack.
Yeah.
Now, my next topic is descheduling cannabis, right? We know how important this is. I had high faith in it last year, and when it didn't pass, I kept like advocating it to everybody. I bet you money. Watch. Everybody, yeah. But in a letter to President Joe Biden, Democrat, the Marijuana Justice Coalition and Cannabis Freedom Alliance said that the administration's plans to move cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 under the Controlled Substance Act would simply maintain federal criminalization. I agree with that. If it's not off the schedule, it's still something that you could criminalize somebody with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of the state-approved medical and adult use cannabis programs, calling instead for a full descheduling under federal law. How do you feel about that first before I go to the next one? That's amazing. The fact that it was a letter from the coalitions that America put in place. You know what I mean? The fact that they sent a letter like you need to fully deschedule this and take it off, because a lot of CEOs don't even believe that it's going to be descheduled.
Yeah.
But somebody got to keep faith, and somebody got to.
Oh yeah, we always have to keep our faith for it. Like you said, it's just like the alcohol industry. Like eventually, it's gonna be a thing that's normal. Like I mean, in COVID, you can like go through the drive-through and get a beer and take it home. You know. That was crazy. But that's always gonna be the goal to get it like fully legalized, federally legal, and everything. But I feel too that it's like the government kind of controls it to what they want to, because they're gonna have like big corporations like come in and buy some of these brands, some of the bigger brands, and they're gonna make sure that they're getting money off of it too. Like,
I mean, they are. Look at the taxes.
Yeah,
they are getting. They're getting a bunch of money already.
Yeah.
Like, what more can you do to try to cripple the industry?
It's literally tax on everything. Like, you have your city your city taxes, your state taxes. If you're cultivating, you excise tax on like every
cultivation
square feet of everything.
Newsom tried to do something
it's
with
crazy.
cultivation. Yeah, but it was only for a few years. Thanks, Newsom. Thank you. The letter notes that according to the FBI data, nearly 250,000 individuals were arrested nationwide for cannabis-related crimes in 2001, and that black people were arrested at 3 times the rate of their white counterparts, despite similar rates of cannabis use. I do have solutions for this. Jason. His face kicked. Yeah, that did it. Nah, it's just, we got to represent. You feel me? So if you picking up cannabis at the street corner, You have no idea what's in it. And we know that drug laws in general have been used to criminalize communities of color and minorities. Legalizing cannabis can help reduce the over-policing of these populations. Cannabis legalization has benefits, such as removing the product from the illegal market so it can be taxed and regulated. But science is still trying to catch up as social norms evolve and different products become available. Of course, they're finding different, variations of THC and this, that. Long story short, for my listeners, just to put it in a plain legalizing cannabis would alleviate all of that. You can't pick up alcohol from the corner no more. You can't go underground and get bootleggers there's no mafias. So sooner or later, the cannabis industry is going to have to be like that to thrive, just like the alcohol industry. Thrive like tobacco. You know what I mean? It's crazy that things that'll kill you and make you stupid is winning, and cannabis is the industry that's being crippled. It's making enemies turn on each other. It's making people greedy. It's showing police corruption, all right? And we're the ones that got hurt by that. Yo, hey, CP. Hey, man, America's a motherfucker, ain't it? How you feel about that, Nash?
I mean, I feel like, I agree with you. They do need to stop picking up from the street corner so we can try to fully legalize it too. But the government does need to lower the tax on it. Look at the tax that's on tobacco, or the tax that's on alcohol, and look at the tax that's on cannabis. Right, that is crazy. This is their biggest, probably their biggest profit margin anywhere. They make money from the city to the state to everywhere. They can literally end, stop it for a year and then let's see what it goes into.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like states are capitalizing on that just so they can keep funding certain things in their general fund. We know in San Diego, in my city, they get the money from the cannabis put in general funding. We know that. Leroy was talking about it. But when and I was talking about an off-record meeting I had with Dr. Leroy, Cannabis Enlightened, go check it out. Hello. But he was saying, I didn't know that they were spending money on police funding. I said, man, it's all in our social equity report. They put millions in there. They take money from cannabis and say, you know what, police, here you go. Here's the money that we made from it. Now go arrest everybody for it again.
Yeah.
And here's more equipment for you.
Yeah. And then it's sad too, because it's even some of the cities that you see where there's some shops that are booming, and you know that they're bringing in millions and millions a year. It's fix the street or something. What are you guys doing with it? Yeah. Where is it all going?
It's not going in their pockets, not all of it. Unfortunately. But I agree with you, and I can't wait till that situation gets fixed. I hope they do work on descheduling Joe Biden. You need to step your game up, family. I heard that you didn't pass that ban on you're postponing the menthol ban because you want to get black voters to vote for you. It's just a little whoopty in the air, and I just think you weird for that.
Very.
I think you're weird for that. But hey, all due respect, you president how you want a president. I'm just the guy behind the mic. Hello. Nash, thank you again for joining me. Before we go, I am going to leave my listeners with a little always remember that no response is a response. Remember that. If you think that you're going to make something better by no response, sometimes it doesn't work like that, and it's going to make it worse. It's better to just sit down and talk and be cordial, have respect, and understand that it's not going to be nothing personal that needs to get physical. We can have a verbal dispute and work it out through that. It's always good to agree to disagree, especially if you consider this person or whoever is family, a loved one. Don't just disband them. I had to say that. Don't just disband them and put them in the fire because you feel a certain way, especially if they fam. You owe it to them to sit with them. You know what I mean? Politic, work it out. And whatever you guys work out, it doesn't affect the friendship. Business cannot be mixed with personal when it comes to that. You feel me? Shout out to the God Elevated. We'll be Nash, thank you again. We out. This is TDOC, Mr. Wowzer. Meow.
What you wanna do, dinner anywhere, let's take a flight. Or we could do something different since we used to the high life. Favorite meal whipped in the kitchen, let's Netflix and get high. You feel me?
Thanks for listening to the Dodi Connection. Be sure to follow and subscribe whenever you listen to your podcasts. To read the blog associated with this episode, visit olismedia.com. This episode was produced in studios located in San Diego, California. Lena Alvarez is co-producer. Serving as executive producer and co-founder is JC Polk, and Chad Peace is president and co-founder. Olas Media is an IVC media company.
Olas Media.